Hello my YouTube friends, this is going to be a review video of my backup phone. Now I'm filming this on my iPhone 4S, so I will be able to do the touch to focus, which should help for the screen. As you can see, this is a Sony Ericsson Xperia. It's not an X10 Mini, it's not one of the others I think, it's one of the X8s. Now this does have a small scratch on the screen which may or may not show up. You can probably just about make out the line. Let's see if I can tap that in to focus it. Now you can sort of see. Yeah, that doesn't actually affect the screen. So where do we begin? Slightly dated device. Came out in about 2010, I believe. Running Android 1.6. 1.6 of all things, so we are going back quite some time with this. It did get an official update to 2.1, which is what this is currently running. So if I power this on, there we go. The time and date are completely wrong, because this phone barely gets used. So let's pop that in. As you can see, this is currently connected to my Wi-Fi network because the SIM in this is not being used. Oh, there's someone on my Facebook. What's he saying? I can't make it out. Tap to focus. What's better than a bacon and egg sandwich? 2 bacon and egg. I'm assuming there's sandwich and that. Yes, this is the terrible interface that the Xperias use. It's this... I don't really know what they call it. Is it like a flip view or something? I'm really don't actually know. Yeah, that's just standard Android nonsense. But yeah, if I were to click that, it brings up this flippy social thing. It's kind of like what HTC did with the Sense interface, but this is slightly butchered. Now, the specs in this for the time aren't too bad. It's got a 600 MHz ARM6 processor in here, so around about the same as what you'd get on the average Android device. But at the time, well, 2010, I think I had a HTC Hero. It had the same, I think I was slightly underclocked. I think that was running at something like 350 to 400 MHz, I believe, but I used to use CPU tool and push it up to 600. We have 175 megabytes of memory on board, 128 meg available for storage. Screen-wise, not that fantastic, 320 by 480 by the look of it. I don't know the actual bit depth, probably 16, highly unlikely to be 24, don't know. Camera wise, just the one on the back. It's a 3.2 megapixel camera. This is a fixed focus camera. Yeah, you can't tap to focus or anything. It's a little bit poo. There is geotagging, so you can store your data when you're out and about, that's always handy. Yep, there's no video calling camera. There is a tiny little dot up there, but I think that's just the ambient sensor for lighting. Now, I have this device hasn't been rooted or unlocked or tweaked in any way. This is still running the standard 2.1 OS. If I just pop that down on the table, tap to focus on that. There we go. Oh, it spins as well. That's not part of the review. I'm trying to do this. So, this is running the stock OS. Nothing has been modified. Everything is running as is. I will say now, the screen on this is not that responsive. Now, again, when I've been working with Android, I'm used to utilising HTC handsets. I've never used a Sony Ericsson handset on Android before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. It is a capacitive screen without multi-touch. Yeah, apparently On the stock OS, Sony Ericsson said it wasn't doable. It was impossible to do multi-touch on here. Yeah, XDA devs and Cyanogen proved them wrong by making ROMs that had multi-touch. So let's find out about the actual thing. What are we running on? So we're at 2.1 update 1. So Android 2.1, very, very outdated. How much battery have we got on this? 58%. So you get your usual stats. That's always nice. I don't have an SD card in this, unfortunately, so I am utilising on board. There's 122 meg available. The only thing I have installed on here at the moment is Facebook and Market. Now, the problem with the app Market on here is because this phone is quite dated and it's running 2.1, hardly any of the apps that you would normally get are available. A lot of ones on here are terrible. I mean, the other slight problem is, like, if I go to My Apps, Facebook is there. It tells me that there's an update available. I think this when I go on Facebook, it says there's an update, but there isn't an update because they changed it. So the minimum OS was it 2.3, something along those lines. Nothing really works that well. It's terribly, terribly laggy and horrible. I really don't enjoy it. I have got Task Killer running on here. The problem being is if I hit Task Killer, it stops this. Notifications. It stops this terrible interface. Don't want that interface, so I would try putting like one of the Pro launchers on here, but I would need a memory card. As for pictures and video, I haven't actually been able to test this, again because I don't have a micro SD card. You know, I have an iPhone now, that's solid state memory. But again, it's a 3.2 megapixel camera with fixed focus. It's probably not going to be that good quality. Video-wise, I think it manages VGA at 30 frames a second. I'm assuming it will output 640 480 and not some god-awkward QCIF or something like that, you know. Now, in terms of storage, it does allow microSD HC. Maximum is 16 gig, probably able to read 32, albeit through a custom ROM. Speaking of which, ROMs that are available, 2.2 and 2.3 run fine. 2.3 requires routing, and there has been, quite surprisingly, Ice Cream Sandwich works on here, 4.0.4, Jelly Bean works on here, 4.1.2, and now apparently somebody's working on Jelly Bean 4.2.1 on this. How the hell are they doing it? I don't know. I don't think I'd even want to try running it on here, to be honest. It's not fantastic. I mean, there's this Angry Birds knockoff thing called Crazy Penguins that's on here. I tried playing it and it's quite laggy and horrible. I'm not really too sure what I can say, to be honest. Let's see if I can I launch the camera without it having a memory card? Yeah, I can't actually take any pictures. You can see the quality's quite grainy. It's not fantastic. Yeah, don't think I'll be using this to do my videos anytime soon. All in all, it's not such a fantastic phone. Now this one, the reason it's not been rooted or unlocked or anything is because of this USB port on the top. It's knackered. I bought this as a spare repair, expecting to be able to get hold of a main board for this and, you know, just replace the damn thing. I can't get a main board anywhere. My only option with this would be to send it to Sony Ericsson and have them repair it, which I really don't want to do. It's not worth it. I know there are custom ROMs out there, but for the hardware that's inside, it's really not worth it. So this is probably going to end up either in the bin, or it's going to end up getting sold to a child. I'll always say that. Sell it to a child. A child can have fun with it. But it just comes across in that way. It seems like, a basic Android phone that would suit a child very well. Like their first smartphone, so to speak. It's nice and easy to use. It's got a small enough screen. The only problem being, you can't really do much. Oh, also, it can't charge. I just remembered, because the USB port's knackered, you can't charge it. Now, if you're asking how I've got power in this, it's because I'm using an external wall charger. So I have to take the battery out, put the battery in the external wall charger, leave that for about 2 hours, and then put the battery back in. It's a pain in the arse, but it's the only way it works. So, yeah, silly me for buying this and thinking I could do something with it when it's absolutely terrible. That's the Sony Ericsson Xperia X8. It can't run any applications, it's got terrible video, and in general, it's not such a brilliant phone. Thank you, Sony Ericsson.